So if you're here, then obviously you're looking for a way to get your speakers working in your BMW X5. Okay, so this one is the straight 6 3.0 version. It doesn't have all the fancy subwoofers and all that crap. It's just got the basic amp, non whatever the crap it is. Yes, I've done my research on it, but you know, if you're here, then you're looking for this. Sorry, don't mind him, we're dog sitting. So this car got hit in the back end. Water got in through the tail light. Yes, all of this still needs to be fixed. But this is where the problems happened. Excuse the cigaretto. So this was crushed in and water leaked in here. Now I didn't do none of this. I swear I always take blame for my whatever you want to call that. But yeah, that definitely wasn't done by my hands. So I actually received this vehicle pretty much in this condition, taken apart and whatnot. I got the vehicle on trade, so I just kind of went with it. I knew what the car was worth, so I went for it. And me being a body tech, I can easily fix this the way it's supposed to be. So that's not really too big of a deal. But as you can see, there's actually still a gap. You can see my fingers in there moving around. So what I'll have to do is take that tail light out and get in behind here, and there's a weather seal that goes behind all this, and the tail light actually seals to the car with a gasket behind it. So this might need to be finagled a little more. This is the big issue. The reason I'm emphasizing this tail light is because that one over there, even though this isn't crushed or nothing of the sort, these tail lights are known for leaking. So, and they fill up that area. Now this light doesn't leak anymore. This one doesn't leak because of the way I've got the car parked. So the water kind of sheds off of it without it rolling back into the light. The factory amp goes right here behind all of this. It slides down in there, and then there's a connector that plugs into that part of the amp. Now there's a whole big piece of this amp. This is what clips to the motherboard in the amp. This one, all the little pins have rotted off pretty much, and you can see on the back side here, it's like corroded and fried them all to crap. So the rest of the amp's in the house, and it's probably still good. So I thought about actually ordering this piece and trying to get it to work. But for now, what I've done is, we're just gonna hook that in there for now. So what I've done for now is I have an aftermarket head unit up there, and all of the door speakers themselves had to be changed as well, because the speakers were like seized. I don't know what would cause that, but they were all cruddy anyway. So I put new speakers in the door, and it still didn't work. The tweeters would work, like not these in the back door, but the ones up on the dash and the two in the front doors would work, but that was it. So I come back here to the old culprit of everything, and like I said, excuse the mess. I am working on this thing, so you'll just have to bear with me on most of this. So and if you don't know where your battery is, it's underneath all of this crap, way down in there. So if you want to know how to take all of this apart, I could probably show you in reverse, because I got to put it all back together. So this is the best thing that I could tell you to get this done with bypassing the factory amp. So this is all my wiring goodies. I've got a couple of extra speakers here for testing purposes, and the reason that I did that is because in this wiring harness there's two sides to it. One side is your speaker wires coming from the head unit, and then another set of wires are wires going back out to your speakers. So what I had to do was I basically opened this wiring harness and I tested them all individually, pretty much. So these are out of the loom right now because this goes to that back door right there, and I have not opened that yet and put another tweeter in there, so I've kind of left that door out of the loop. So these are the two speakers, or the two wires for that speaker down there. So these are the ones that I had to replace, and taking these door panels off are a pain in the ass. So the bigger blue and brown wire go to that speaker, and then the white wire and then the white one with the black goes to that tweeter. So what I had to do was I turned on my head unit. And then within settings on the head unit, I balanced it all to the left, and then I faded everything to the front. So that way the only speakers that were the only wires that would be working back here was the ones for that front left up there. So once I took these speakers and I checked the wires, and then the ones that started making sound, I was like, okay, those are the ones that run that door speaker. So what I did from there is I took those two wires and I started testing this side of the loom. So these little bitty guys, this one, this one, this one, this one, these are all tweeter wires that are for the front of the car. So these, if you look at it, they're not actually cut right here. They're tied together to let me know that these two run together to the same section of the car. These are inline filters. And the reason that I used these, is they are capacitors, and they limit how much power the little baby tweeters right there in the dash and right there in the door, these limit how much power those get, because with those little tweeters wired into this same door speaker, it would cause those to start crackling and popping because they were getting way too much power. So for the tweeters on the front side, as you can see, this is the wire coming in from the head unit. Okay. Oh wait, no, I've got you wrong here. I've got you wrong. Look at, there we go. So this wire that my finger is touching, the yellow brown and yellow red, that is the wire coming from the head unit. These are the wires for the front driver door. This is the lower speaker. This one is the speaker, the tweeter on the dash, and this is the tweeter in the door for the front left side. So that's why I have that loomed into its own thing. This one is the wiring for the front passenger door. Okay, so this one is, let me get you here. So do you see that brown and orange and brown? I think that one's just straight brown. It is. Okay, so the brown and orange and the straight brown one there are the leads from, let's see, what did those go to? So there's that one, there's the limiter. Okay, so those, the brown and orange one right here are grounds. So I wired these two differently to show y'all two different ways, and I kind of confused myself on it because I forgot that I did this. I actually did this days ago. So those are all the grounds in the mix. So the one that is sending signal back here from the dash is actually that wire right there. Sorry, for the angles of stuff, but so this is your wire coming from the head unit that sends signal out, and see I've got all the grounds together there, and then the positive running into this to limit. And then, you know, let's see, these two, that wire right there, the blue and black, blue and brown, that is your tweeter on the dash. This wire right here, the brown with orange and blue with red, these two are your tweeter in the door. And these two wires right here, your blue and brown, blue and red, are your speakers for the lower half of the door. Bottles, you're fine, buddy. So these wires here, this set is for the front right half of the car. This set right here is for the front left half of the car. And then this is where things get kind of crazy. But I didn't need a limiter for the rear tweeters, these guys, because apparently they can handle 300 watts. So I didn't get a limiter for the rears. So the way that this one actually works is this yellow and black and brown and orange wire are the signal wires from the dash. These are what play music through them. And then this is the tweeter in the door, which is yellow and brown, or yellow and black and yellow and brown. And then these two big ones, the yellow and then the yellow, or the brown right here. So those two go to that speaker. So now what I need to finish this little project up with here is if you notice, I've got these taped off because these are the signal wires from the head unit. That is the tweeter in the rear passenger door, and this is the speaker wires for the lower 6-inch in the bottom of the door. Alright, so that was a brief little intermission there. Sorry about that. Had to cut the phone off for a second. But I hope you guys get the gist of what's going on here. I tried my best to explain it. I could probably draw you guys a picture, and like with the wire colors and combinations and where they go. But the best thing I can tell you is, look, it's this simple. If it's already broke, how much more broke are you gonna make it? Okay, like, yeah, I could have really fucked this situation up, you know, like the the GPS for the cars back here, which obviously we're not using because we've got an aftermarket head unit. So I mean, this doesn't really matter for me, because, you know, I'm not really trying to make a lick on this car, to be honest. I'm kind of trying to just fix this thing and make everything work and make the car look decent to have a backup vehicle, because I mean, this thing's actually pretty nice. You know, there's no tears or nothing in the seat. I mean, there's some scratches and stuff from where there was a dog in here, but other than that, it's a pretty good looking vehicle. Drives good, runs good. The old daily there, you know, I've been driving that truck since I was 13 years old. I'm 35, so if it tells you anything about me, I like to keep my stuff running. But you know, I'm not a very inspirational person per se, but I want people to start understanding that you can do stuff on your own. Like, yes, I understand that I have experience in this stuff. I've been working on cars my whole life. Seriously, my whole life. I have been turning wrenches, doing wiring, body work, you name it, man. Like, every aspect of a vehicle, I've been around it my whole life. But when this situation right here came about, like, you know, I got the car, got it home. I didn't really mess with the stereo a whole lot, and then I realized that it didn't work. So I started looking for the culprit, and that's when, you know, I discovered that that had all been wet down in there. Like, I knew that, obviously, I mean, I knew that the car had been hit and fixed. And like I said, it does need to be reshaped a little bit and whatnot. I'm not saying that the guy that did this was bad by doing this. He was just pretty much trying to get it to look halfway decent so he could get it gone or whatever. So I took on a project as a family vehicle pretty much, because I mean, anybody with kids is going to tell you with a single cab pickup truck there's only so much you can get done. So this kind of has the seating room we need. But you know, if there's anything that you guys don't quite understand about this situation, you know, feel free to send me a comment or a message. I do get on here and read them. Some of my older videos I've noticed have been kind of taken off a little better, so I've been going back and kind of reading some of the comments and stuff and helping people through some of their issues, like with the Silverado throttle body position sensor video I've got, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the rear hatch not turning the lights off, just random little quirks that I find in vehicles that I notice are not talked about widely on YouTube. And I'm just here to kind of help fill the gap between major problems and minuscule problems. So we're dealing with minimal problems here, I guess. But this is stuff that I don't see on YouTube at all. Like, dude, people don't show you how to go through this wiring harness. And like, yeah, man, it's a scary situation, because like, you see this thing, it's like all rotted, and the hell, one of the prongs is actually in there. So at the beginning of the video, this doodad that I hooked over here in the hole, this is one side of the harness. And if you look at this is how, you know, I kind of helped figure myself out to begin with, because there's two little slivers that are actually in one big block. Now I can't really show you what that looks like because I've already done it, but essentially it's one big square block that has two of these in it. Two of these. Now this is the side that comes from the dash. So, or no, I lied to you. So this is the side that it's got two doors here, two doors there, and then this is a main ground. So when you get into this, don't be scared if you've got this green and red wire just taped off. Tape that off to begin with, because this is constant power for the amp. So you're not going to need this unless you run an aftermarket amp, which I'm probably going to end up doing. So right now I actually have a motorcycle 150 watt amp ran to everything. I was actually using that for some of the testing in the beginning, just trying to get stuff working, because I couldn't find wires coming from the dash. So I was testing speakers that way, and that's how I actually figured out that the door speakers didn't work. So pretty much, just if you have any questions about it, send me a message. It seems complicated, but it's really not. It's just kind of time consuming, you know. But that's really about it, man. It just takes some time. All I have in materials in this is literally like maybe a quarter of a roll of electrical tape, like not even 6 inches worth of solder, because I do solder my connections under all this. My little torch and stuff is in the house probably, but I actually have a little torch, and I can solder everything without having electricity. But I've also got, I've got this out here because I've got power right there for outside purposes. So in the link below, I will leave a link to Amazon to pick these up. Now for your situation, you might want some that are a little stronger. So if you notice, these right here say for 3.5 to 4 inch speakers. The tweeters up there in the dash and in the door are, they're little guys. Like, they're like the size of that thing. They're maybe like 2s or 2.5s or something. These worked decent in my favor. Now if I turn it up really loud, which at that point, like, it's deafening anyways, the speakers do start to crackle a little bit, the tweeters, because these aren't limiting enough. So I'll find the ones for the actual 2-inch door speakers and leave you guys the link. But I'll also leave a link for these as well, just in case you guys need them. But these things are awesome, because if you have a head unit, now that head unit up there actually pushes 330 watts and it does pretty good. So it pushes those door speakers, all 4 6-inch door speakers, just fine. And if you guys want a video on how I did these, now it's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see that there's a different speaker in there. So I went on Amazon and got a set of crutch exactly 6-inch speakers. So apparently when you're looking for 6-inch speakers, they pop up as 6.25, 6.75, all this other crap. Crutch actually makes some that are 6-inch. And you will have to trim the little, you know, the outer side of the speaker. You'll have to trim the little metal edge off of the speaker. But what you do is you take the black cup that's in there out of the door that has the speaker in it, and you cut the back of the speaker out and push it out, and then you can slide that into that cup and put it back in the door the way it's supposed to be. So that's kind of why I have left that door untouched at the moment, and the wires out of the loom, because this is not only, you know, an instructional to help you guys get this figured out. Like, this is far enough along, and I showed you kind of where things go to get you going. But really, it's kind of like a test to see if, you know, if people are interested in stuff on these X5s. Now this is a 05 X5. If you're interested to see more stuff, especially like the audio system, because these do get a little complicated. As you can see, there's wires literally everywhere, but that's not scary to me. I'm not scared of wiring. As long as you got one of them guys, wiring ain't bad at all. But pretty much, if y'all want to see how I put the speakers in that door and like the modifications that I had to do to get that going, just let me know. But for today, I'm gonna pack this sucker up. I'm gonna go play Forza for a little while and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. But if there's any questions that you have about this situation, just let me know. Here at the end of the video, I'm just gonna kind of, you know, show you guys this little bit of situation. So, you know, like I said, one half of the loom right here, this is all the stuff coming from the dash, and all the stuff that's not in that is all the door speakers going out. So, like, you know, I've got these tied together because those are the dash tweeters. See, that's a tweeter for the dash, or no, that's a tweeter for the rear door, and that's the wire for it, or for the front door, I mean. But don't be scared to get into wiring. It's really not super complicated. If for some reason you run into an issue where you really need just a second set of eyes on things, send me a message or comment, you know, something of the sort. Like I said, I've been doing better about actually seeing my comments and stuff. If you have Discord or Facebook Messenger or something of the sort where we can see what each other are doing, I could possibly help walk you through some of this, because this is actually a huge issue with these later model BMWs. The factory amps get fried, and like people just lose their mind because they think that they got to spend all this money for adapters and all this other crap, dude. No, you don't. Just be ingenuitive, use your brain. I mean, your brain's there for a reason. Use that thing. But I hope this helped you guys for the most part. I'm not exactly the best at these things, so just let me know in the comments if you guys want to see how you get the speaker out, because I could have my old lady or a camera stand or something, and I'll show you how to get the old door panel off. And these are harder to get off because they have these little shades that clip up. And man, let me tell you, getting this crap loose and getting the door panel off is just wow. So anyways, on that note, I'm gonna go enjoy my afternoon. I hope you guys have the inspiration to take on a new job. So in the meantime, catch you on the flip side. Till the next one.